Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitch Track Chronicles, where fans become family. I am Uncle Tats. I am here with Donald. And we have to lead off the show with the elephant in the room. And Aaron Judge has really been non-existent in these two games to start the LDS. And it comes to where he's really, I think at this point, he's just pressing so hard to make an impact. And I think a lot of the bets are, but he's the captain, so he's getting singled out on this to start the show off. And I just don't understand how somebody's so good during the regular season just goes out of it, just abandons what was working for him and is trying to just be the hero every at bat. We don't need the home run every at bat. We just need you to make contact. We need you to put together solid quality at bats. If you work the walk, fine. If you just get the single and you just pass the baton to the guys behind you, that's fine as well. But trying, he just looks lost at the plate. It's the expansion of the zone. We talked about it at the end of the show on Monday. I don't understand how somebody's so dominant with a bat can just completely just go away. There's got to be something, really deep into the psyche of Aaron Judge. And it's a lot of the superstars when it comes to the postseason. Because, you see often players that carry through the year kind of like, all right, well, I got you to this point. Now it's up to you guys to help me out. I don't think that's the case in this particular instance. I don't think it's the fact that Judge is like, all right, well, I got you here. I'm done. But something's got to happen. Maybe it's going to be on the road. I'm not going to say it's the pressure of the Bronx, but you always want to up your game for your home fans. Donald, are you seeing anything from Judge that sways you one way or another? If this is going to be a prolonged issue, or this is something that he could shake off now that they're, with the off another one. I think there's too many off days. I think everybody got a little ice put on them. But what are you seeing from Judge?
He's expanding his zone. That's what's the main takeaway. He's expanding the zone. He's swinging at pitches he doesn't normally swing at, and he's missing pitches that he doesn't normally miss. There's obviously an issue. There's definitely an issue now. There's no question about it. It's a thing. We just have to admit it. It's a thing. I don't love his approach at the plate in the playoffs. It's weird. But I do want to make it clear that this doesn't – the two games in the playoffs doesn't erase the 58 home runs in the all-time season that he had. But I think he could learn from A-Rod as a great example of someone that learned how to come big in the playoffs. But this is – if Aaron Judge doesn't come through in these playoffs, then he needs to take accountability and he needs to own this and he needs to be better because this team can't go anywhere without Aaron Judge. It's Aaron Judge and Juan Soto with a little sprinkling of a couple of other guys, and that's your team. That's the ball club. So if Aaron Judge doesn't come through, then the Yankees are cooked. Let's be absolutely clear about it. You name it. Yankees that are loved and beloved are guys that come through in the playoffs. You have to come through in the playoffs. If you're going to be a Yankee that's going to be forever adored and going to be loved forever and all that stuff, you need to come through in the playoffs. Derek Jeter, that's a captain. He came through in the playoffs. That's where he got that name, Mr. October, Mr. November, even. Reggie Jackson came through in the playoffs, man. He really came through in the playoffs. That's how you make your hay as a Yankee. Yep. So obviously his regular season numbers are great, wonderful. He's probably, in terms of regular season, probably the greatest player of the modern generation. But dude, in the playoffs, you need to start coming through. It looks like what they're doing the Royals are smart here. What they're doing is they're focusing very much on Soto. Because if you could take Soto out, then really it's just Aaron Judge that they really need to worry about. And listen, you can't win a World Series that way. You can't. And you know what? I have to give credit to the Mets. They are not afraid of the moment. So this isn't just about Aaron Judge. I think it's about the Yankees in general. The Yankee team look they look afraid of the moment. The Mets aren't afraid of the moment. They look like they enjoy the moment. You can see Alonso loves the moment, and I mean 1 through 9, these guys are having quality playoff at bats, and the Yankees could actually learn from their little brothers over there in Crosstown and Queens because they are not afraid of the moment. They are playing a much better team in the Phillies than the Yankees are playing the Royals, and they are handling them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a lot about the way that they're prepared, way that they're managed, their attitudes, and the way that they're handling these clutch situations. Now, you contrast that with the Yankees. Aaron Boone's Yankees so far, they look unprepared. They look afraid of the moment. They're making dumb mistakes. They're throwing to the wrong base. They've already made base running errors. They've already made fielding errors. And they are striking out in huge moments. And then what the biggest problem in that is Aaron Judge. The game could have been over with the runners on first and second to start the game. Aaron Judge came up, 2 on, nobody out. This is the moment for Aaron Judge, and he failed. He struck out, and that was the Yankees. They didn't do anything from that point on. You've got to take advantage of these opportunities. He's not doing it, and afterwards, he just seemed a little bit too relaxed. I hated what he said after the. Oh, my guys are excited. They're excited. They're excited.
Well, we're not.
Excited? You lost. You know? Like, I need to see a little bit more from him, man. He needs to be, I know he's Mr. California and stuff, but I need to see a little bit more from him. You know,
Yeah.
you saw the Jorge Posada. When he lost, he just looked like he wanted to, like, start, like, taking people out, you know? Derek Jeter was furious. He hated to lose. I need to see more people that hate to lose on this team. I don't see that from Aaron Judge, you know, and Jazz Chisholm said the stupidest thing in the world. So we're going to get into that too. So I need to see a little bit more fire from this team. I know that maybe not the modern way, the modern approach these days, but I need to see fire. I like to see a little bit of fire. I like to see someone that stands up and is like, no, that can't happen. We didn't turn up. What further motivation does this Yankee team need? Did you hear that crowd in Yankee Stadium? Game 2, game 1? They were absolutely loud. They were loud as shit. They put everything into that. And how did the Yankees turn up? Both games they've turned out a slog fest. I'm not.
It's
I'm not.
been it's been a very sloppy series from the Yankees. I think I mean, you're 1-1 in the series. We have game 3 tonight. We'll have Schmidt on the mound. We'll break that down later on. But it's really Judge needs to have that Jeter-esque kind of attitude where this is look. I have the C on my chest. I got everybody's back.
Yep.
And I don't think he's quitting. I don't think he's giving up. I don't think he's going into every at bat defeated. But it's just very lackadaisical. It just looks like, and it's not just him, but because he's the captain, he's the one that he's the offensive threat in our order. Him and Soto. Soto's handling his business. So, but you need Judge too, because if you don't have that two-headed monster, it's going to be it's going to be a quick exit. And this can't happen. We were gifted with the AL Central because we owned them all year. But like we said, once you get into the playoffs, everybody's record is 0. Everybody's numbers is 0. And Judge, along with some other key guys, put up a 0. Sorry.
I mean, here's the stats. Aaron Judge is the highest postseason strikeout percentage.
Yeah.
A minimum 200 at bats, 34.3%. At the point that he came up during that game yesterday in the third inning, he had the highest postseason K percentage. It might have gone down to second highest now since after the game, but at that point, it was the highest strikeout percentage in the history of the postseason with a minimum of 200 at bats. That's it. This is no longer reactionary. This is no longer oh well, you know what? It's just this is a small sample size. It's just a crapshoot. Blah, 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 blah. No, this is a trend. This is something that's real. He needs to be better.
And before we get really any deeper into the discussion, just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that is watching, everybody that's in the chat. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to drop your comments into the chat, what you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and you could throw your comments in, as we will be getting to some of the comments that you guys have been throwing at us. But just real quick roll call, and I'm going to forget a few people, and I'm going to apologize in advance. But usually we try to get to this a little earlier, so there's a lot of comments. So just want to give a quick shout out. We got Jared Williams hanging out with us this morning. We got Medina, Gregory Wayne, Egyptian Magician. We got Ken, Nosebleed Section. We also have John the Beagle Dad. We have FJ in the building. We got Chris Ryan in the building. What's going on, bro? Acevedo is in the building. Reikia channel. Lou, what's going on, Lou? Haven't seen you in a minute. And we also have Jonathan, as always. The real Yankee is hanging out with us this morning. What's going on, everybody? We also have NFE, as always, hanging out with us. We'll close off the roll call with the strike zone. So I do actually had just something pop up. I do have to step away for a quick moment.
Well, give me an opportunity to answer this question that Jared posted here. Jazz said that the Royals got lucky in Game 2, but he's just making an excuse. Exactly. That was crazy for me. FJ, the Yankees have enough issues. Jazz doesn't need to poke the bear. Now you've given the worst thing that you could possibly do is give another team locker room material that they can now use, that extra motivation that they didn't need to have already, and Jazz has given them that by saying they got lucky. They didn't get lucky. They completely outplayed the Yankees in Game 2. And by the way, should have won Game 1. They made enough mistakes in order to lose Game 1, but they were the better team in Game 1 too, and they were a much better team in Game 2. The Yankees have come out looking unprepared. There's a reason why their numbers of runners in scoring position is so bad. You can see that they're making errors in the field, but not just the blatant ones that come up as an error, but like, for instance, missing the cutoff man, throwing to the wrong base. These kind of issues that has been coming up. It's been prevalent under an Aaron Boone's leadership, especially this season. It's been quite prevalent, and this is the example. The postseason, you have to be really sharp. The Yankees haven't been sharp. They really have not been sharp. You could make the argument had a very, very kind call at second base not gone the Yankees' way, and the Yankees would be 0-2 in this series. Truthfully, the Royals have been the better team. Now, are the Yankees the better team? Yes. But have the Royals played better over the two games? I don't think there's a doubt about it.
No, I think what it is, the Yankees on paper are the better team. The Royals are executing in real life better than the Yankees. That's why the series is split. And that's why there are nerves going into Game 3. Because it's just, like Medina's putting out, just commented, it's just not a fundamentally sound team. You alluded to it, a few moments ago. There's been a lot of errors, a lot of mental mistakes.
Yankees have been dull, says Jared. I completely agree with you, man. I was midway through
There's no
game two. I was
flying with
like,
these guys.
midway through game two, I was like, is this a regular season game in like June? Because this is boring. I thought the Yankees played with no energy. Every other team in the playoffs, there's series where it's like electric. Like the Padres ran off to like at a 5-run lead over the Dodgers, and the Dodgers came back, made it 6-5. They still lost, but they made it a game. The Yankees, once they go behind, they look like they're done. They're like, oh well, we'll get them next week, get them maybe week after, and maybe next month, maybe next year. They just seem far too relaxed, and that's the thing. That's my issue with Aaron Boone's premiership. It works in the regular season to an extent. You have the long view. We'll turn the corner and all that shit, right? But in the postseason, there's no turning the corner. It's right frickin' now. You take this opportunity right now. This at bat, you got to take it. If you don't take it, then you're probably going to miss it, and you're probably going to be waiting until next year. That's the urgency that Aaron Boone doesn't communicate with his team. It needs to be communicated ASAP. And for anyone who disagrees with me, anyone, I want you guys to pull up a quote from Aaron Boone last year where he said in the playoffs, I remember it was a playoff game, and he's like, oh, you know what, well, we've got time. Next week we could, he was referring to the future. In the postseason, you don't have a
Doesn't work that way.
Immediate. It's right freaking now. There's something wrong with the mentality of this organization, and it really comes to a head in October. So I really, really strongly urge that this Yankee team needs to start figuring it out. Like, stop making excuses. Stop looking ahead in the postseason. It's right now. It's immediate. And they need to show some urgency. That's why I actually disagree with people that say that the playoffs is a crapshoot. You put yourself in the best position to succeed, and you most likely than not will succeed. You can if you play the right way. If you tighten up these stupid mistakes, you play smart fundamental baseball and enjoy the moment, the big moment, then you're gonna do well in the postseason. That's how it tends to go. If you pitch well and then you come through clutch spots and you don't make dumb mistakes, you're probably gonna do pretty well. But the Yankees don't do any of that, and then when they're out, then they go and use the crapshoot excuse. Oh, it's just a crapshoot. Not our fault, not our problem. It is.
Yeah, it's and I want to bring up this comment from John. He's saying the Padres team meeting was amazing. Why can't we get that kind of show from Judge? I don't think it's something that he's doing publicly. I don't know what they're doing, in the locker room before they come on the field. I don't know what they're discussing after the fact. I'm not, privileged to that. But I want to say he's got he and Boone. Because Boone is still the manager. Temporarily, if things just keep spiraling downhill over the next couple of games. Now, his job's on the line, I hope. But, no, you do want to see a little bit of fire. I'm not seeing enough where I have confidence that this team is going to turn it around. Am I giving up on the Yankees? Absolutely not. I never will. Am I saying that the series is over and they don't have a shot? No. They could go on the look. The Yankees played a lot better on the road than they did at home this year.
True.
So maybe outside of and it's not the fans. Believe me, there's a couple of fans that made comments on the radio that I want to get into later on about Judge. Actually, we might get into that after this point before we move on to talk about another player. But you got Boone and Judge have to get this team in order. But Judge can't do that if he's not contributing himself. He can't rally the troops if he's not rallied himself. And that's Boone's responsibility. And it's Boone's responsibility alone to rally his team and feel like they can't. It's I hate the term, but it really does. It's so true right now. This whole series is still right in front of them. They can go on the road and just finish this off. There are still three. There's still possible 3 games to play. You only have to win 2 of them. So all you got to do is just win. Now all you got to do is you have to win the series. Win 2 out of 3. That's it. On the road, I do have a little bit more confidence than if they were home. That's the sad reality. But there were a couple of fans that called up on the radio. One stood out, and that was the only way the Yankees are going to go forward is if they bench Judge.
No.
And I was like, "What?
I'll tell the joke.
Are you serious?" I know he's struggling, but Jesus Christ, come on, use your head, guy, to the fans. I know you're defeated. I know you feel like all is lost, but are you seriously thinking that that's going to solve the fucking problem? Come on. We have to be better as fans. Stop.
Hey, you're right. And I'm seeing legitimately on X, there's actually prominent accounts that are saying, should the Yankees consider trading Aaron Judge?
They're idiots. They really are.
It's okay to be critical
really dumb
because he deserves to be criticized. But over the course, I mean, the bigger picture is the guy's generational, and we're very lucky to have him, and we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are without him. I mean, the dude had one of the greatest seasons of all time. In fact, he's had 2 out of the last 3 seasons is the greatest season of all time. Some of the greatest seasons of all time. In fact, last season, had he not gotten hurt, he probably would have had 3 straight seasons of one of the greatest seasons of all time.
Absolutely.
So the guy is unbelievable. But there is something that's weird going on in the playoffs. I don't know why he's so bad in the playoffs. It's freaking insane. Like I can't explain it. But the great news is if he comes through tonight, then a lot of it'll be forgotten about.
It'll all be forgotten.
It'll be all forgotten about. If he comes through the big spot, if he gets us through to the CS, then a lot of this will be forgotten about.
Right.
That's the great thing about the playoffs. It can all there's the beauty of the upcoming game.
My last comment on Judge, because there's a lot that maybe there's still a lot of other guys that we need to discuss, but just like with A-Rod, right? A-Rod had terrible postseason numbers, but what did we talk about with A-Rod in the postseason? 09, because we won it. If Aaron Judge wakes up and he leads this club to a World Series, every postseason number goes away. All the critique goes away. It'll be, he had some moments in the postseason where he looked bad, but man, in 2024, he brought us that title. And that's all people are going to want to talk about, is he ended the drought. He was the leading drive that ended the drought. So, and Chris is right. It only takes one big swing to turn his outlook around. And it's so freaking true. Right? And that's all I'm going to say on it, because there's other things that, there's so much
exactly, because we're in the power of social media. In the era of social media, you can imagine if Aaron Judge hits a walk-off home run to get us to the ALCS, there's going to be fireworks, man. It's going to be
unbelievable. We're going to be on here screaming, "That's our guy! That's our guy!"
Exactly. You're going to have him hitting that home run to Titanic music or freaking, you know what I mean, or Rocky music or whatever, and it's going to be a thing. So like that's the era that we're in right now. So one swing changes the whole thing. But right now, what we're seeing is he's expanding his zone. He's pressing, and we don't really have a much of a lineup, really. Outside of the front 6, we don't really have much of a lineup, and that's the issue. There's too many automatic outs. Volpe's one. We don't have a power coming from first base. That's another issue. So we don't have any power coming from first base or shortstop. We don't have any power coming from left field, and that's an issue. There's an issue with athleticism, especially from the DA spot. Although we need Stanton's bat because everyone piling on Stanton is ridiculous. The guy's
Well,
got like
he's the next one on the list.
he's got like a 900 OPS in the playoffs, and he was the only one that drove in a run yesterday before Jazz's meaningless shot, and everyone's still piling on Stanton. Oh, we should bench him, blah blah blah, because he can't run, dude. Right, we've got bigger problems than that. How about the fact that no one else can frickin' hit? Like, I know everyone hates Stanton, but take a step back and look and see that we have a lineup that isn't delivering quality at bats in big spots. Even Austin Wells is in a really bad slump. He's been in a slump for his last 100 at bats. He's been in a major slump. He's batting in the 4-hole. So there are issues here, man, and it just seems like there's too many people that want to like ignore the issues coming from Anthony Volpe and just focus on Stanton because he's slow.
Well, that's the thing. It's they want to go after Stanton, and Stanton's everybody's favorite punching bag.
Yep.
But like you said, he's got over a 900 OPS in the postseason. But let's ignore that. And they're all criticizing his base running. You do know this is Stanton, not Usain Bolt. What are you expecting from him? You know this is what it is. It's like, it doesn't. This is the problem. This is why Yankee fans are hated so much.
And we've got another reason why Yankee fans are
100% perfect. We bitch and moan. Like I said, there are Yankee fans that after a perfect game is thrown by a Yankee, they'll criticize some type of pitch count. Because they have to bitch about something.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky there was a no-hitter because we only scored a perfect game. We only scored one run. It's like those fans are out there. And yes, they're annoying. We could be annoying as well. I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are rants that I go on where I'm like completely out of bounds. There's praise I give to players that's completely out of bounds. And you talk about it because you're in your own emotions.
But it looks like the chat really wants to talk about one thing.
And now we're going to switch to where social media just it's a cesspool.
Yeah.
And those are the comments to Rodon. Because I know that's exactly what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
All right. But I want to get the Stanton thing out of the way because this is something that really needs a little more focus.
Yeah.
This is when it comes to people's family, it's off limits. Exactly, NFV. It is off limits. You want to criticize a guy's outing? Fine. We're going to do that too because he was rolling. He was the Rodon that we were waiting for. The let's go, boys, after the first inning, 1, 2, 3. He was pumped up. Because the Yankees couldn't score and he took the L, you're gonna make off color topics about his wife and kids. Come on. Unacceptable, and they should never be allowed to root for another team again. You should be banned from being a sports fan.
They should be banned from social media. They should have their freaking phones taken off them. That's the problem. That's the problem. And we're really coming to a crux of it here. Rodon's wife has absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
No player's wife has anything to do with the outcome of a baseball game. It's family. Everyone has family. Every single one of us has family. Do you want to see your family getting attacked? I mean, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Tats, if you screwed up at your job, could you imagine someone going on fucking social media attacking your wife? You know what I mean? I mean, that's insane.
Well, that'd be a big mistake on that part.
It would be a but that's what we're talking about. Like, why is it okay for someone to go to work and do his job and then for someone to go and attack their wives and family members because it didn't go the way you wanted? I mean, you shouldn't even be attacking Rodon. He wasn't even that bad.
No.
I've seen worse. I've seen much worse.
Put up some freaking runs, it wouldn't be an issue.
I've seen much worse. My God. I've seen Kevin Brown pitch for the Yankees. I've seen Javier Vasquez pitch for the Yankees.
Pavano.
I've seen Carl Pavano. Well, I've very rarely seen him pitch for the Yankees because he was always injured. But I've seen these dudes pitch for the Yankees. I've seen worse outings. Trust me. I saw Kagawa, for the love of God, I saw him. Rodon had what the Rodon's outing, and this is completely separate and has nothing to do with how disgusting social media is. But if I was just to break down the outing very briefly, it looked like he was all amped up in the first inning, and he actually used up all his energy. And then after he used up all his energy, he had no way of getting back up again. And then it all started to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse after that, because it's kind of like when guys are running out for the Super Bowl. They're using up all their energy getting hyped up before the Super Bowl, and then when the opening kickoff, they don't have any energy left. I've seen that before. That's kind of what happened with Rodon. He got too amped up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad an outing. I've seen much worse, much worse. But for people to think it's okay to contact wives and family members, you need help. You need to get arrested. You need your freaking phones taken off you. And also, I really do think that people in charge of social media, they actually need to have a filter for what could be put in DMs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there should be a filter. If there's any expletives, any threats, all that stuff, that needs to be filtered and blocked before it even reaches someone's DM. I don't know how they do that, but it's really dangerous, extraordinarily dangerous. It hurts people's mental health to be attacked like that. It's frightening because you don't know what these lunatics are capable of. So it's just very upsetting to hear, and it's going to affect how they view Yankee fans. It's going to view how they view New Yorkers, and that's not who we are. That's never been who we are. But there is a small segment that that are insane. But it's worldwide. But it's insane. It needs to stop. It's disgusting. I have nothing but sympathy for Rodon. I have nothing but sympathy for his wife. I hope they are okay. But there really needs to be something to stop these people that can get a hold of their cell phones and think that it's okay to contact people and abuse them. I mean, over a baseball game? Yeah. Over a fucking baseball game. Fucking idiots.
So, no, it's really it's appalling because it leaves such a bad taste in in the world's in the fans' minds about what real Yankee fans are about. We're about rallying behind our players. We're about calling out their ups and their downs with equal footing. If you're playing well, we're going to prop you up like you're the best player that ever was. If you have a bad outing, yeah, we're going to attack your outing the same way we would with anybody else. Nobody is immune. We just talked about Judge for a good portion to open the show. And he's the guy that, believe me, I wouldn't take him out of the lineup for anything. Because you don't know when that at bat, almost like the Stanton effect. You don't know when that good at bat or that good game is going to come. So you ride and die with, Judge is a ride or die player. It doesn't matter what his numbers are. You keep him in the lineup. So the fans need to do better with their teams. Because like John just said, with the Dodgers, we talked about that the other day. I don't want to get back into that. But it's the fans need to be able to, because not every fan is like that.
No.
So all of a sudden now you go on you want to go to, on a road trip to see them play. They're already looking at you like you're there to start trouble. You just want to enjoy a baseball game. And it ruins it for the fans that are just real fans and understand that nobody goes undefeated. We know there are going to be games where it's going to suck to lose, and every loss sucks, whether it's game 1 or game 162 or game 2 in the LDS. It's going to suck. It's going to piss us off. But we play tomorrow. I know we play today, but
I mean, I'm
always,
focusing my ire on the team as a whole. Like, there's not really
Yeah.
an individual that I'm. Oh, that person's the reason why we lost. That person's the reason why we're playing like shit. No, this is a team effort. It starts from the manager, and he hasn't even managed as badly as he did 2 years ago. But I think as a whole, this team just looks a little bit unprepared, and they just look a little bit. It's boring watching the Yankees right now. They just don't play smart, fun baseball. They don't play attractive form of baseball. It's just plodding, strikeout. Oh well, get him tomorrow. Like, I need to see more fire, man. And it needs to start tonight. But yeah, moving on. Obviously, I completely disagree with anyone on social media attacking people. It's really out of bounds. It's stupid and shameful. But also, same with the Dodgers fans doing that shit with the Padres. It's just wild. I don't know why people are acting like this. It's really insane. But let's talk about the Royals. Salvi Perez, Tommy Pham, Yuri Gurriel killing the Yankees. Gurriel killing the Yankees. Gurriel's been amazing. And Salvi Perez is a monster, man. He's so good.
He's so underrated.
Such a quality player. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's Perez is probably one of the most underrated players in the game right now.
True.
Never gets the credit he deserves. He's a beast.
So is Lugo. Lugo's another one that's really underrated, and he absolutely handled the Yankees. It's one of the most impressive starts of the year. Actually, was Lugo's outing where he went 7 innings shutout and just embarrassed the Yanks, and that was actually one of the best pitching outings I've actually seen this year. It's just great.
I think I think the show after that game, we were just in awe and shock.
Yep.
Of Lugo. And because, shocker, we will give credit to the other team when they deserve it. And the game the other day, they capitalized on mistakes. And Gurriel has been a Yankee killer forever. Doesn't matter what uniform he's on.
Fact.
He's wearing. He's going to hurt us in some way or another multiple times. Yeah, they got the better of us. You know, the bats went cold. Rodon had one inning where he just didn't have his stuff. He got tattooed a little bit. And game over.
Oh, yeah.
But they handled their business. And good for them. They should have capitalized on it. The only thing I'll say is the Yankees better turn the tides. Because if they get freaking Witt going, that's going to be game over. That's if he starts really hitting, and causing havoc on the bases, we're screwed.
They've done so well.
We have 2 more games to keep him cold, and it better start tonight.
They've done so well handling him to this point, but
they dropped their guard against everybody else, though.
Exactly. I mean, Witt is quality, and I can't see them shutting him down the entire way.
No, not going back home.
No, and with Lugo on the mound, I mean, this is a concern. Like, they've got really good starters, and Reagans was good. We let him off the hook in the first 2 innings, and then after that, he was quality, and Lugo's really good. The Yankees did not do well against him in the last outing, so I mean, it's a concern. How do you feel about Aaron Boone moving on from Luis Gil as the third starter and going with Clark Schmidt? How do you feel about that?
You know what? I don't think you could have gone wrong either way. So I don't think it was more of a punishment for Gil. I think it was more. Just because if my memory is right, I think that Schmidt has had overall. He's had a. I mean, maybe Gil's in the Rookie of the Year talk, but I think Schmidt has pitched better in the AL Central. So I think that was. I think that was a factor. He said, I don't have all the numbers right in front of me. Good morning, Grace. Thanks for coming and hang out with us a little bit. But it's you couldn't go wrong. If they went with Hill over Schmidt, there's nothing to complain about. They went with Schmidt over Hill. I don't think there's anything to complain about because they both put together solid seasons.
Yeah, it's kind of weird optics though, because Hill was so important to getting us to this stage. We would never even have won the division if it wasn't for Luis Hill's season. He was amazing, but he's starting to tail off a little bit as the season went on. He's probably reached way over the limits that of innings that they wanted him to pitch. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But I feel like Luis Hill was probably my choice. I would have gone with it because he is swing and miss stuff, more swing and miss stuff. He might have overpowered them, and then used Schmidt because we know that Schmidt's really good in a bullpen scenario that can piggyback off him. That's probably what I would have done. But there's also a possibility that maybe in Game 4, say the Yankees win tonight, right? Go 2-1 up. You can afford to hold Cole off and wait till Game 5. So then you could maybe even use
Hill tomorrow.
They could do that.
That's a good strategy. But I think Medina's onto something. I think it's the command and the walks because Hill's had some rough first innings. And with the way the bats are, you don't want to be playing behind the 8 ball before you even come to the plate.
That's a good point.
So, excellent point from Medina there. Which, you know what, now that you think of it, what you say it out loud, that could be the main reason that the decision was made the way it was. So what's going on, Brazil?
Plus, Schmidt has pitched quality innings, basically quality outings all year long. You know, and he's fresher because obviously he had that layoff, but he's not really had a bad outing all year. So they're probably taking that into account. If they could get him to give us 5 innings of 2-run ball, I think they would take that.
Yeah, that's why I think it's more of a command thing with their pitches. Schmidt's first innings usually fare pretty well. Where Hill, sometimes it takes an inning and a half to get his rhythm, and you don't want to. This is where I'll actually say Boone might be making the right decision. We'll have to see how the game plays out. But right now, from what you said a minute ago, because if the Yankees can get this game, then you can have Hill for Game 4 and save the bullets for Cole, just in case it comes back to the Bronx.
It's possible. Because the other alternative would be Cole pitch Game 4 and Rodon pitch a deciding Game 5. Do you want him to pitch a deciding Game 5?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we're paying the guy. We saw that, you know, it's. I think Rodon is actually the way he's pitched all year. He stayed healthy all year. He didn't miss one start. He's been reliable. You'd hate to see it in a deciding game. I'm not going to say it's a no-brainer, but I'm not going. You know, if they have to pitch Rodon Game 5, I'm not panicking.
Okay.
Because if it gets to a Game 5, that means the bats are waking up. Actually, if it gets to a game, you know, if we win tonight, we have to put up more. I want to see 5 runs tonight. I really want to. I want to see I want to see them the run spread out too.
That's an offensive extravaganza for the Yankees right now.
I mean, yeah, that would feel like we routed them.
Yeah. Well, that leads us seamlessly to Jazz Chisholm.
Yes.
What do you think of his antics rounding the bases when he hit that solo home run to make it from 4-1 to 4-2?
I don't think it was as big a deal. It's the postseason. His first postseason home run as a Yankee. Let him carry on a little bit. I didn't think it was that big of a deal because if after that, if they would have continued to rally and come back and win, we'd be saying, "Wow, how great was it for Jazz to hype everybody up on that home run?" You know, it's the outcome dictates how we look at it. I didn't think it was that big a deal.
I strongly disagree with it.
Okay.
I didn't like his antics. There's time and a place to acting a fool, you know, hitting jump shots and going for slam dunks as you're rounding the bases. You should be doing that when you're hit a go ahead, game tying home run, but not when it's 4-1 to 4-2. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, act like you've been there before. I know he hasn't been here before, but act like you've been there before. These are Yankees. That's why I really hated Luke Voigt hitting a home run and him doing the frickin' burger celebration where he was eating a burger and the Yankees still lost by like 5 runs. You know what I mean? I mean, bro, I mean, what are you fucking doing? I mean, act like you've been there before. Act like a professional. You round the bases, you shut your face, and you wait to see how the outcome goes. If the Yankees come back, then you could start acting a fool, jumping around and doing your thing, right? Cool. But until then, you need to act like a pro. And
but if the Yankees did rally,
I didn't like it. Yeah. And it just says that just says to me that this is a team that's ill-disciplined. Like, there needs to be a better handle of this locker room. Medina says here, I agree, Donald. Yeah, there needs to be a better handle of this locker room. You can't allow people to just go off and see that shit. Like he said after the game. Oh, they got lucky. They didn't get lucky. You got outplayed. Accountability is very important. He said the Royals got lucky. They did not get lucky. That's actually an insult to the Kansas City Royals. They played very well. They handled us very well, and they outplayed us. And they're playing a better form of baseball than the Yankees are, the big bad Yankees. So the fact that the big bad Yankees are saying things like, "Oh, the Royals got lucky," it makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like it. And this is coming from someone who loves Jazz Chisholm. I love him. I've wanted him for 2 years. When we made the deal, there was a lot of people on social media going, "Oh, this guy is not that good." I said, "This guy's great. This guy's great." And he's been great. He's been very good. But what you will always get in this channel is honesty. No matter how much I love or I'm indifferent to a player, I will always call it as I see it, straight down the middle. What he did there is not becoming of a Yankee. So when you're hooping and hollering and hitting slam dunks and hitting freaking 30-foot jump shots when you're rounding the bases, when you're losing, it's a stupid look. It's a stupid look. That's a round the bases and they go, "Come on, boys. Come on." That's what I need to see.
Okay. No, I don't think you're wrong. I just, I see it a little slightly different. Slightly different.
That's what I need to see. And then after it, I need him to be honest and just say, "You know what? Credit to the Royals. Played a hell of a game. They outplayed us. But we're going to be extra motivated, and we're going to come back over there and aim to kick their ass in games 3 and 4 at their park." Right? That's all he needs to say. But to say, "Oh, they got lucky," is a really bad look. I really, really strongly detest that. It's not professional.
And Gregory's saying that Bobby Witt responded. I didn't see his response, but that's why we were saying if they get Witt go, if the Royals get Witt going with the way that Gurriel and Perez and these guys, even Garcia, he had a 4-hit day. They're not going away quietly. That's why everybody and we purposely stayed away from this track of it's the AL Central. Oh, I'd rather face this team. This is the easier path because there were a lot of people that were also saying, or some fans, "Oh, we have, this is going to be easy. It's the AL Central." No, they didn't win a free pass to the postseason. There was no gold buzzer like on American Idol to get you right to the end of the line. They had to work their way to this spot.
And they got a good.
They're not going to go away quietly. Sorry, that's the reality of it.
They've got a good rotation, And the
And
game
their
2,
bullpen's been good.
no, the bullpen sucked. But game 2, their starter is actually an advantage to them. Like Reagan's is better than Rodon
Higgins was
this
good.
season. He has been, right? And this season, and then in this game coming up, Lugo is a really good starter, and he's probably a slightly better starter than Clark Schmidt. No disrespect to Schmidt, because Schmidt's great, but like they've got really good starting pitching, and then they've got a lineup that can hit. Now they don't have much power, but they've got contact. And it was like death by a million cuts in game 2, and that's probably what they're going to aim to do again in game 3. So it's a tough matchup. The Royals earned it. The Royals are a good team. They've earned it, and they've earned our respect, and we should respect them. There was see, as a Giant fan, when I grew up with the Tom Coughlin era, and they were winning Super Bowls under Tom Coughlin, his mantra is something that can supersede just football and be looked at as sports in general. Shut up and play. Shut up and play. If I was a manager, that would be my mantra, just like Tom Coughlin's. Shut up and play. That's it. You do your talking after you win. You do your talking after you win. No matter what the provocations, you keep your mouth shut. Right? And that what was the mantra when Joe Torre was leading all those Yankee World Series teams? It was very much a shut up and play mentality, thanks to Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada. They ran that locker room tight. You didn't get anyone acting a fool. Act professional. Act like you've been there before, and act like the prize at the end of the road is the World Series, not just hitting a meaningless home run to go from 4-1 to 4-2. If he pulled that shit in front of Derek Jeter or Jorge Posada, he'd be taken out the back and
You'd have been spoken to in the dugout.
He would have been talking to
That's
firmly
true.
in the dugout. That doesn't happen, not with a Yankee team. And that just shows that the standards have dropped so dramatically since 2009, since the 90s to now, where the Yankees are losing from 4-1 to 4-2, and it means a celebration. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm the freaking man. Yeah. Like, give me a fucking break. Act like you've been there before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of. We want to see a little more life in baseball, and I was one of those get off my lawn guys. I didn't want any changes whatsoever. You know, when players get amped up for something they've never been able to do before, because the reason why I'm not going, normally I would be right in lockstep with you, Donald, because we've been in lockstep about celebrations for a while. But you have a guy that's talked a lot of shit, coming over from going from the Marlins to the Yankees. He's all amped up. I just think it was just adrenaline. I don't think he was. The comments, the lucky comment, I could do without. I'm with you on that one. But the hyped up, on the bases, was a little over exaggerated. Yeah, but I'm not going to kill him. I can't kill him for it. He was, the adrenaline, the excitement. Like I said, if they would have rallied behind him and come back and walk it off, we'd be saying how that was a spark. So I can't kill him for it.
Yeah. What you can kill him, though, is you've given the other team locker room.
No, that I don't agree. Yeah,
you've now got bulletin board material. If I'm the Kansas City Royals manager, I'm writing that down.
Lucky.
Jazz Chisholm, quote, Royals got lucky. I put that in the bulletin board in the Royals home locker room and in the dugout.
See,
so
now,
they look at
it. I don't want to
look at it every time they come out bat. They're like, these guys think that we got lucky because we owned them in Game 2 in Yankee Stadium. We're going to show them. And that's exactly what you can never do. That's what I mean by shut up and play. You never, ever give the other team motivation that they don't already need. It was like
already motivated that they
I remember a game where the Giants played the Jets Christmas Eve,
and the Jets were talking big smack, right? They were like, "Yeah, this is our town. We're the big bad boys, right? All this, who are the Giants, right?" And then they covered up the Giants Super Bowl trophies, and they were like, "Woo!" Right? And then the Giants won, right? And they kept their mouth shut throughout. They just played their game. They won. And then they just went on with their business, and then they went and won a Super Bowl that year, right? Because they just didn't need to give any team any further ammunition. You just don't need to do it. As long as you play your game, then you do your talking on the field. It's as simple as that, and that's what winners do, and that's what I'm seeing is the difference. I'm talking from that people might watch going, "Oh, this is another old man in the lawn. He hates the modern generation." Right. But what I'm actually saying is I'm talking from experience because I know I've seen teams that win. I'm talking from experience. I've seen New York teams that have won Super Bowls, won World Series, right? I know what it takes to win. And the mentality has always been to act like that. Act like you've been there before. And it carries forward, propels you. If you start acting the fool before you've even done shit, it's going to come back and haunt you 100% of the time, without exception. 100% of the time, it will come back to haunt you. And I don't want to see that happen to Jazz Chisholm because Jazz Chisholm is too good a guy. He's too talented a player, and he's just started here, and he's got so much to offer. But if he is given them material, and then the Royals win the next two games, and then the Yankees are out, then they're going to point to, "Oh well, he said that we were lucky. Who's lucky now, right?" And
It's fine. You can see the back page of the paper in Kansas City.
Exactly.
He got lucky.
Jazz Chisholm will be in trouble for that, and that's why I hate to see it. I hate to see him do that. And there needs to be, what I'll credit Aaron Boone is that he immediately disagreed with it once he heard that the Jazz said that the Royals got lucky. He said no, the Royals played a very good game.
Yep.
That's what I need to see. But there needs to be. I'm worried that this locker room is feeling themselves too much. I've been saying it for a long time. This locker room feels itself far too much, and they haven't achieved shit. So achieve shit, then you can dance and act the fool. And it looks like everyone in the chat tends to agree with me.
Yep. Yeah, and it's going to start tonight. And we're going to see, I'm expecting a good, I think the pitchers are going to do really well. And as long as Schmidt can continue what the Yankees have done and contain Bobby Witt Jr., I think leaving him out of the equation with the bat is really helping the Yankees stay in the game. But if they get him going and then it's just a straight shot through the lineup where they're just going to be struggling every batter, that's not going to bode well for us at all. Just calling it as it is. I'm not going to sit here and as much as I love Jazz, I said he's going to be the wild card. He's going to be the guy that kind of surprises us this offseason. Well, with that game, he gave us a couple surprises because we weren't expecting him to act the way he did. Talking about how it's all about the World Series before the playoffs started. Fine. Every player should be doing that. But the lucky comment, you want to celebrate running around the bases, fine. Tone it down next time, though. Please. Just play your game. Just play Yankees baseball. And the problem we've seen is they don't know what Yankees baseball is. They're not playing to Yankees baseball material. But that could change very easily tonight. Very easy. Like they said, who was it? Was it Charlie Hayes? You play today, you win today. That's what they have to do. It's one game, just take one inning at a time. And just make sure that you're on the upside of it. That's all you could do. So hopefully when we come back to do the show on Friday, we are coming back with some good freaking news.
I've got good news for the people in the chat. I am calling Game 3 here on this channel. Game 3 will be called. It will be a live stream, and I will be joined by the twins, Alex and Luca from the Boys in the Big
They
Apple
came through,
podcast
huh?
or
Awesome.
Big Blue in the Bronx. They will be coming on and supporting me as we do tonight's game. So everyone in the chat, everyone who loves Boys in the Big Apple / Big Blue in the Bronx, guys, hit us up and watch along with us. Well, I'll do play-by-play along with Alex and Luca. Very good channel they got, so everyone subscribe over to the Big Blue in the Bronx channel. Be fun. Should be fun. Should be fun. See how that goes. And there's Luca, my man.
Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of the devil, look forward to talking to you tonight. Smash the like button, hit the sub button, and we will be giving you guys play-by-play for a very important game.
Yep. So, with that being said, get some rest. We'll see everybody back here tonight. Like Donald said, for the play-by-play with the Boys in the Big Apple, with the Twins, and that is going to be something to be looking forward to. And we appreciate them coming on and giving up time on their channel to kind of hang out with Donald on ours. It doesn't go unnoticed of the appreciation. But with that being said, hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. This has been the Pinstripe Chronicles. This is where fans become family, and we wear our pinstripes with pride, and we play hard.